Hey guys, I'm Alex.
And I'm Evan.
And we're wasting time with Dark Souls Remastered.
The remastering.
So we had already done a few Dark Souls videos, and there was like no interest in it, and we had other stuff we wanted to do, so we kind of moved on. But this is Dark Souls Remastered, so we're remastering our original playthrough, as short as it was. So I don't know if we'll make a full thing out of this, but we'll fuck around with a couple of videos.
Well, because I mean, this is just the exact same game with texture improvements.
Pretty much. I think they improved like the netcode.
Okay.
And they I think they added like that little tweak I told you about where you could like quickly snap back to the first item in your item like set to make it easier to like heal mid battle.
Okay.
And I believe they've added some kind of like anti-cheat. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Because in Dark Souls 3, their anti-cheat was like really aggressive and it was common practice for hackers to like the anti-cheat would detect like anything that was wrong with your account, like you having like souls you shouldn't have or items you shouldn't have.
Yeah.
So hackers would like invade you and hit you with like hacked daggers or something, or like give you some items that they had hacked into the game, and if you picked them up, then you would be detected by anti-cheat, and you would get soft banned, which would like remove you from the pool, from the general multiplayer pool,
right?
And you could only team up with other people who were soft banned, which would severely cut down the amount of like people you could play with. And I've read that they've employed the same anti-cheat, but I don't know if nobody I know has had any problems with it so far. So I don't know, whatever. But things.
That actually reminds me of what's happening right now. Nintendo's actually taking a real hardline stance on Switch hacking.
Is Switch hacking even a thing?
Yeah, actually, it was. People recently figured out how to tinker with the Switch GPU, and so now people can homebrew their consoles and stuff. But
like the homebrew channel on the original Wii.
Yeah.
Neat.
But Nintendo is actually, their stance is, if you are caught hacking or just basically doing any homebrew activity at all, then you're permabanned from any online activity of any kind.
Nintendo's always had like a real hardline stance on any kind of like game alteration.
I mean, they say permabanned, but then they also say, like, when you try to log into online things, you just get a message that goes, you're prohibited from doing online stuff. Message Nintendo for more details. So, like, presumably you can email them and say, please let me go online again. I'll give you my firstborn child. But yeah, they're not playing around, and they're not banning specific consoles.
Just like your account.
They're just banning your account.
Oh, so I wonder.
So even if you buy a new Switch and it is not hacked, you've been flagged, and now your legitimate Switch is still not allowed.
I was going to say, I wonder if that extends to like your 3DS, for example.
Yeah, I don't know.
Would also be on the same account, or like your Wii U. Not that you can really go online with the Wii U anymore.
Yeah, but I believe what they're doing is, if you're caught hacking, they flag your Nintendo Network ID.
Wow.
And so
they could ban you from playing Fire Emblem, the Heroes or whatever, the mobile game, because you use your account for that. And then, oh no, I can't give people money to pull my waifus. That would be terrible.
But yeah, so I mean, if anyone wants to homebrew their Switch, be very, very careful.
Yeah.
Don't do any firmware updates.
If you want to see like what kind of started this sort of behavior for Nintendo, you should check out the case they had against Galoob back when Game Genie first happened. It's pretty.
I remember Galoob.
It's pretty interesting stuff. How Like the legal arguments are really interesting about how Nintendo was claiming that they were violating their copyright, and
Game Genie was considered hacking in Nintendo's eyes?
Game Genie does hack. It doesn't hack the hardware. It intercepts the cart. It's an intermediary between the cartridge, so it intercepts the data, and then you can alter the data going through.
By the way, sidebar, these textures actually look really good.
Yeah.
This is quite cool looking.
I had actually decided to warm up a bit for my real playthrough by playing a little bit of the original Dark Souls Prepare to Die.
Yeah.
And so when I booted this one up a couple days later, I was like, oh my god.
I was really worried because your character creation screen looked kind of terrible.
Yeah.
But this is really pleasing to my eye.
It's like I played the shit.
Oh, but not right there.
Yeah. I played the shit out of Dark Souls 2 on the PS3. I literally played it 6 times, back to back.
Yeah.
Which you can probably believe from the way I played.
Wow, look at your character.
Our LP. But when I upgraded to the PS4 version, which is which is high def.
Yeah.
My eyes were bleeding. I was like, "Oh my god! Ah!
Yeah.
It's so sharp."
Yeah.
It caused me physical pain because of how smooth it was.
Oh, man.
I called up Amber and I was screaming in agony.
Yeah. But yeah, no. So I can see why the Game Genie is hacking, but it's a sold product for people that want to do that.
Well, this was uncharted territory, and Nintendo made money by games being hard.
Yes,
because that's how you get people to call the Nintendo helpline.
Yeah,
and
right.
Subscribe to Nintendo Power Today and all that crap. So if you don't need to figure out how to beat the boss, and you can just have infinite lives, then that cuts into their business model.
Okay.
And I don't know how widespread the mentality is, but there were also programmers who were angry that they're impossibly hard games.
Yeah, the thing they worked so hard on was being circumvented.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I don't know how to feel about that, because a lot of Nintendo games are just hard for to keep you playing.
Yeah.
We didn't have a whole lot of the elegant games like Zelda and Mario and Final Fantasy. I say elegant, but comparatively.
Right.
But that stuff was few, and that stuff was the rare exception to the Mylon secret castles.
Yeah.
Which I still really want to watch you play that someday.
Yeah, no, I know that I can still beat it. It won't be fun.
We should totally do that.
I'm down.
We should live stream that shit.
The only game of yesteryear that I'm immediately opposed to redoing
Kid Chameleon
is Kid Chameleon.
Damn it! I was hoping you weren't going to say Kid Chameleon.
Kid Chameleon has so many levels.
It's also quite hard.
Yeah.
Corinne, our friend Corinne, her old roommates. One of them was a retro gamer, so he had a really good collection of classic consoles, and he had Kid Chameleon. So I was like, "Oh, dude, can I play Kid Chameleon?" He was like, "Yeah, sure, man." And he loaded it up, and I was just playing it for a while, and I got decently far. Considering I barely remembered how to play the game, but it was a lot harder than I remembered.
No, I don't know, because it's been so long that I do not know. It's been so long that I don't know how long it actually took me to beat it.
Uh-huh.
But I remember that beating that game involved me memorizing, just through trial and error, long-winded version, exactly which exits to take in which levels.
Yeah.
Because certain exits would warp you to other levels. However, it was also predicated on me keeping certain powers and surviving with them to certain points.
Yeah.
And so it would be something like, okay, you need the tornado power.
Yeah.
And you need to survive however many hours of gameplay. And if you lose the tornado power, you're done. I would just start over. Because I needed the tornado to fly up to this one specific exit.
Yeah, and the worst thing is when you're trying to maintain like a good power like Tornado and you get it replaced with something like the fucking Rhino.
Yeah.
Which is garbage.
Or the Samurai or whatever.
Hey, the Red Stealth was awesome.
Yeah.
So much that I still remember his name. He's like super fast and he goes, hi, hi, hi.
He does.
Awesome.
But okay, so here's the thing. I remember that the only powers that I ever would care about were Tornado
and Cyclops.
Yeah, the Cyclops.
Seriously, that was good. That's like the fucking garbagiest power of all.
No, but it's good at killing certain bosses or something.
Yeah, but but for general use, it costs your crystals to use the offense power, and it didn't work on a lot of enemies.
No, but the only powers I remember being useful, are the Tornado, the Cyclops.
The Knight was pretty good because his special power was giving you more health, like permanently.
Yeah. The
Oops.
I can't remember if the Skull was incredibly useful or incredibly mundane. What is with this guy?
The Skull was really good in specific areas because, like, the skulls fired really fast and they would bounce around, and they did good damage too. But it was deliberately like too big to fit in certain areas.
Yeah.
So eventually you would pretty much always have to give up the skull, which I'm sure was intentional.
And I think I remember fighting.
Oops.
I think I remember the power of choice for the last boss was Tornado.
Jeez, I take a few days off and I totally go to shit.
Well, these guys are going crazy. Like, what's up with this attack cycle?
I mean, that's how they go. Like when I was off camera, like I did all this flawlessly.
Yeah. But I mean, we're talking about Kid Chameleon and shit.
Kid Chameleon makes things harder just by being in the same conversation as them.
I think that I fought the. Look at him just looking at you.
Yep. Well, he knows I'm gonna do this. Oh, I missed him!
Uh-oh.
Wow, this is like my fail run of the whole game.
But yeah, no, my weapon of choice for the last boss was Tornado.
Huh. I don't remember what I used. I think I might have used the Samurai, because the jumping attack was pretty good, as long as you could jump on something. Like, he would, like, bounce off. Have I mentioned that Pyromancy is really good in this game?
Yeah.
He would like bounce off whatever you. Yeah, I don't know how that missed. He would bounce off whatever you jumped on. So if you timed it right and like aimed correctly, then you could just like bounce like indefinitely until the thing died.
Yeah.
So it was really good in that respect. It was also just like naturally faster.
And wait, there was a. Am I misremembering, or was there a gun ability? I think at some point, like, you could get a handgun.
The Skull had a gun.
Shit.
Well, the Skull had a gun. The Cyclops had the blaster. There was the Jason mask that gave you axes, which was also really good.
No, like, I may just be misremembering, but I thought one power just had Kid, like, pull out a .45 and start shooting.
I mean, I would love to know. I don't remember that.
Yeah, it's been so long.
That would be awesome.
Man, beating Mylon's Secret Castle sounds like such an appealing alternative to replaying Kid Chameleon again.
Tell you what, one of these days we'll do Kid Chameleon. We'll just like trade off like on like every life.
Oh God!
And we'll just see like how far we can get in like in like a single video.
Yeah.
Like we won't do the 2-player mode because that'll just like extend things a lot. Like we'll just see how far we can get in like a single like real life sequence or something. Because I do have it legitimately on Steam, and it would be a waste not to use it. So I didn't feel the need to do any commentary for that first bit because I mean it's the tutorial level.
Yeah, I feel like everyone has seen that thing 1,000 times over.
Yeah. I will do a little commentary at this point, just because like I have like my system for getting my start right now.
So I'm looking at this and I'm thinking, you know what? The textures are improved enough that I think, yeah, okay, this warrants a playthrough.
I mean, I got
a replay. You know what I mean?
I mean, I got it for $20 because I already own the original.
Right.
So I don't think it's a bad buy for $20 like at all.
Right, but I'm saying what I was going to look at this and then say, okay, if I've already played the original game, is it worth playing again because it's just the same game with new textures?
Well, the number one reason why I felt this was worthwhile is that the remaster like revitalized the online community.
Yeah, I mean that's an important factor.
Like there's so much jolly cooperation going on. It's awesome right now. Like I'm getting summoned constantly, which actually kind of breaks the game a smidge, just because the Sunbro Covenant, the requirement for joining the Sunbros is that you have to have like a really high faith stat, like end game faith stat at base.
Yeah.
However, that requirement goes down every time you co-op with somebody.
Oh, okay.
And if you co-op I think it's like 10 times, then you can join the Covenant. And joining the Covenant gets you the Sunlight Spear miracle. And Sunlight Spear is a really, really strong spell to have in your arsenal. I mean, you can do that as early as like the first boss. Okay. Well, okay, you can't actually join the Covenant until you get like almost all the way to the second boss, but being able to get that like right in the beginning of the game is like a massive like game changer.
Yeah.
Like it's also like, okay, when I played Dark Souls back in the day, I've only played Dark Souls to completion once.
Okay.
It's probably my least favorite of all of them. I actually don't like this game a whole lot, to be honest.
All right.
I don't want to sound like edgy, but I kind of dislike I dislike this one immensely compared to like Dark Souls 2.
Right.
And Dark Souls 3 has better gameplay, IMHO. But when I played this before, it wasn't all that populated because this was before Dark Souls like really took off.
Uh-huh.
All we really had was Demon Souls, and Demon Souls was just like a really quirky, like weird Japanese thing. Like it's just like a really hard, like kind of joke game.
Yeah.
So it had its cult following, but it didn't have the like widespread mainstream success until I think around the time Dark Souls 2 came out, because it took people a while to figure out about the like all the hidden like story stuff, which I think like really attracted people, and people started figuring out like, oh, this isn't just like a bullshit like hard game. Like there's stuff in here. There's actual like thought, like a lot of detail and thought put into how all this stuff is designed.
Right.
Oh, I meant to talk about this. So, at the beginning of the game, you can pick a gift. And there's a bunch of different things you can pick that are various degrees of good.
Yeah.
I always pick the Master Key, because the Master Key is an item that works in... It acts like 5 or 6 different keys you can acquire over the course of the game.
Oh.
So if you have the Master Key, you can go to those places without acquiring the regular keys.
So you can get to places earlier than you otherwise could.
Exactly. Like this place. Normally, you can't come in through this door. After you do Blighttown, which is a few, I'm gonna call them dungeons, just for lack of a better term. It's like 4 or 5 dungeons away. You will go through. You're gonna start like way the fuck up there, and you're gonna progress all the way down the mountain essentially. And when you hit the very bottom and ring the second bell, you will come out of there and come out through here. And that's like hours of gameplay away. So I open this up. I can open this up right at the beginning of the game now. Number 1, because when I get to that point, I can say, fuck Blighttown, and just walk in through the back entrance, and be right at the boss, because fuck Blighttown. Blighttown is the worst part of the game.
Okay.
But number 2, and I showed you this before, but I like to go over here, because there's a really good thing...
Oh, the dragon!
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can snatch the item.
Yeah, there's a couple of really good items here, and that's also why I spent my souls, because... I have had occasions where I can make it out of here alive without dying, but I haven't been able to do it in like the 3 attempts I've tried now. So
yeah,
I'm just assuming I'm going to die here, and that's fine because I have 200 souls, and that's like nothing. So yeah, he gets up and he kills me, but that's fine.
But you got the stuff.
I got the items.
Yeah,
and that's the important thing. So I can't use them just yet, but that's where the second part, and I didn't do this in our other playthrough.
Okay.
So this little bit will be new to you at least.
All right.
I mean, this isn't like new. Like I'm sure like experienced Souls players will know how to do this shit. So this is a shortcut that'll unlock a bit later in the game. These elevators don't work yet. They're up in the cathedral.
Okay.
But I can drop down here, And there's a little like secret like little thing I can come out through here.
Hey, chests.
Yeah, and there's some stuff. None of it's really all that important. Although if you're the type who likes to invade people, there's your cracked red-eyed orbs. So now you can start invading people.
Okay.
If you're an asshole. And there's a talisman if you want to play a really long board game. Yeah, it took you a while to laugh at that. So, and there's a homeward bone. There's a couple of homeward bones. Lloyd talismans are really interesting. Maybe I'll be able to show off how those work. So we're in the graveyard. Graveyard is kind of a death trap right now. The skeletons are all being respawned constantly by a necromancer who's like a few like floor layers below us.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so there it's beef gating. It's to keep you out of here because you're not really supposed to come to the graveyard until much later. But there's some good stuff in here.
All right.
So we're gonna see. I mean, at the max, I'm getting stuck already. At the max, it should only take like 2 runs to get everything.
Oh, those look like bigger.
Yeah, there are bigger skeletons. So like the Zweihander, if you have the stats for it, the Zweihander is quite a good big weapon to use. And I picked up a couple of.
How did they bury these people? Look at they're right on the edge. Yeah. Right on the edge.
Well, I mean, presumably, like the land wasn't.
The land eroded.
Yeah, like I assume the like terraforming happened with all like the dragon fighting.
Oh yeah, okay.
The chosen undead like constantly stirring up shit that shouldn't be stirred up. And so if I do this right, I can just go directly from here. I think I just need to do it like at an angle. Every time I figure out how to do this, I forget how to do it again.
Huh.
I might just run around to expedite things. But there we go.
Hey, wow, that high jump.
Yeah. You have to get like just the right angle or you'll go sailing off into the cliff. So that may or may not have happened to me when I was practicing this off camera.
Okay.
And since I'm up here, I might as well run over here.
But anyway, I feel like this looks good enough where even if you've played the original game once upon a time,
right,
it's gonna be fresh, at least fresh enough to make you want to play it for a few hours.
Oh yeah. Well, see, going back to kind of what I was talking about before, like my thing with Dark Souls 1 is that this is by far the most like Metroidvania-y of all the games. Yeah. And that's a good and a bad thing. I personally don't really like the pacing of this first game.
Okay.
It's huge. People love it because it's huge and open. And, I mean, there's a lot of ways you can go to progress. I believe I got everything, so I can just try to get back without dying. I mean, like this whole little, like, weird, like, runabout I've been doing, before I even get to the first...
What is that? Was that a dragon tail?
No, it's a crow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I can eventually...
it's the big bird. Oh,
yeah, I can eventually ride that bird back to the asylum and get stuff. But yeah, but personally, I don't like it. Well, my big contention with the design, and this is one of the most hotly debated things about Dark Souls, is that you can't teleport in this game until like you're, I guess, like about maybe about the halfway point in the game.
Okay.
So there is a lot of backtracking in this game.
Right.
And I mean, a lot of people like that because they're like, oh, well, it makes the world feel big and alive, and the whole world is like intelligently like connected together, and I mean, like, you can see like people have made like diagrams like showing essentially how the whole world is strung together, and it's kind of impressive. But
yeah,
it also makes the game like a much bigger pain in the ass to play.
Right.
Like, it's good to go through an area for the first time without being able to teleport. Oh, I can't. the stupid. I think the skeletons are too close. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's one right
you're
there.
in combat. Okay.
Yeah. So he's stopping me. Let's see. I wonder if he'll revive over here.
I mean, that kind of screws you over.
If he's reviving over here, then yeah, it would screw me over. Oh, I think he's backing off. Is he going back? Is he leaving? They never followed me over to the bonfire. That's weird.
This is like, well, I gotta be moseying
along. Yeah, better be hitting that dusty trail. And I still can't.
No, he's around the corner. Check around the wall. He's just standing there. Yeah.
God damn it! Leave! Well, he's trying to leave.
Oh, he's just stuck.
Can I just, like, fireball him?
Okay, quick save while he's still on the floor.
Okay, he's too far away from the necromancer.
Oh, good. Okay.
If you get souls, that means that he's died permanently.
Oh, cool.
Alright, so I need like 12 faith. And so I should have enough souls after I collected all those stray ones to use the... Oh, I need 14 faith. I should have enough to use the sword and shield I found, which is really, really good early game stuff. So there we go. So my axe at the moment has an attack of 86, whereas the straight sword I just picked up will boost me up to 174.
Oh, nice.
It's a huge thing.
So you just doubled it.
Yeah. The shield I picked up is also a 100% physical resistance shield.
Oh, perfect.
So now it'll absorb 100% of the physical attacks I take, which is massive. And
Yeah.
I'll show you why in the next video. And the other neat perk of the sword is that it's a blessed weapon, so I could actually use it to permanently kill those skeletons.
Oh, good.
If I was in the mood to, actually fight it out with them.
Yeah.
So, we'll cut this here, and then we'll play a little bit more, and then we'll see if we end up doing any more of this
All right,
next
cool.
time. So we'll see you guys then.
All right.
Next video.